vehicle production.
Alright, welcome to round 3 of Operation Clash MetaPlays tournament. And right now we are looking at momo4sho playing as the US forces on road to Tunis. And he's going to be playing against a pretty strong opponent. And that person is Orangepest, currently playing as the Wehrmacht. And as we found out earlier on this cast, or rather as I found out, Kubelwagen here just reversing across the map so as to avoid detection from any early game Jeep here, which we can see that Momo does have. And Orangepest, he's elected to go for the south side of this map in the game, so he's not leaving himself vulnerable to that cutoff point. However, he is going for a fuel point that is quite far away from his base and will be difficult to hold against US. Momo will have just, of course, scouted that no units were out on the north side, so he'll be able to change his navigation a bit. Orangepest, very, very stealthy and careful. Now, you can see here in the chat that Orangepest is confident. Let's call it confident. He's pretty sure that he's going to best Momo in this round, but we'll see. Momo's played some pretty strong games today. Orangepest, as you can see here, has gone for Luftwaffe, and he's already dropped his first squad of Fallschirm Pioneer. Orangepest is trying to perhaps maneuver some units out of the point there to stop the decap. This will sever the fuel point that Orangepest has gone for on that side. And now once again reversing to the this has got to get patched, right? It's ridiculous. It's not like it's traveling any slower, it's just silent. Love it though, that's what top level's all about.
The enemy has cut us off. Territory out of supply.
Momo is trying to deal with a lot of this at range right now, which perhaps is giving Orangepest a good opportunity to set up. But Momo's managed to get a squad of his riflemen on the flank of the MG42. He's going to be really careful he doesn't step into the arc of fire there. Trying to get into some green cover just so he can pick off the MG42. Of course, Grenadiers coming in probably to merge some units back into that squad, I would imagine. Yep. And that's going to allow them to deal with the riflemen before Momo can do any real damage. Momo's got a really crucial timing here to get on top of this manpower point just as Orangepest is about to connect himself to the north fuel point. Resource wise, I think Momo's got a clear advantage in this game from the start. We'll be looking at Orangepest quite carefully, I think, just to see where his battle group options go and what his tacking's going to be. Looks like he's probably going to need either something solid defensively or mobile enough to outpace the Jeep and the riflemen.
Our territory is exposed. We must re-establish a connection.
Really, really tough resource game.
MG42 and crew ready. Moving on.
Reinforcement withheld, Commandant.
Momo just taking some time to repair his Jeep.
You need us?
Crew, we are moving. On your feet.
It's interesting actually, because Momo has gone quite heavily onto the north of the map. This is going to give Orangepest a really good amount of time to get into some vital defensive positions with an MG42 and also his Fallschirm Pioneer with the green cover. It's going to be difficult for Momo to knock that out until he gets a vehicle. We don't see any sign of motor pool yet, perhaps a bit early for that, so... Looks like Orangepest has successfully managed to get that fuel point. If he does connect the one in the north, he is going to have plus 20 fuel added to his income, which is going to make things very, very difficult for momo4sho. Kind of vital that US does get that fuel income so they can roll their opponent with light vehicles. Scout car's going to dive on top of the Jeep. The MG42 gets some shots off, but I think that Orangepest perhaps missed an opportunity there. Oh, just gets a decap. Every little moment like that is so important for Momo in winning this. Long range suppression from that MG42. In fact, they shouldn't really be suppressing there. But this is a great response from Momo. He sees a vulnerable MG42 straight on the flank, instant retreat. Doesn't get better than that, and once again you see Orangepest without that bank of resources that he desperately needs. He's now going into Jaeger infantry. I'm not sure why Jaeger infantry need engines rotated to create them, but nevertheless the cyborg infantry will be out soon. The line of this, Momo's got a really good opportunity to flank here. Two rifleman squads going to be able to force a retreat immediately. Actually, a pretty good game so far. There's no significant losses here, but map's absolutely filled with activity on all 3 points. And did just see that Momo was producing a Greyhound, which is now on the field. That comes out with Veterancy 1 star, so we know the Armoured Battle Group is the choice for Momo here. Mighty Mouse, I would never do something like that.
We've lost the territory sector. Defend our victory point. We're losing it. You have command points ready to spend.
Well, I definitely would have penned this down as Momo's game at the start. Orangepest is starting to get a foothold. Let's just have a look at resources to tech. So actually, yeah, we've got tier 1, tier 2. Nothing else yet. Not that much in terms of fuel, although the income rate currently is quite high, so it really does, I think, come down to Momo right now just to put a huge amount of pressure on whilst he still has that field advantage. We do have 221 with the anti-tank upgrade. Not sure if Momo intended it, but he's got a really good position there behind the truck, which is a bit of a shot blocker.
A squad of Jaeger has been requisitioned.
What are your orders?
Wow. This long-range suppression that comes from the MG42 is playing havoc with all the riflemen. Like, to suppress at that range so often is really fortunate for Orangepest. Big hit there from the 221. I really like as well how Orangepest, you know, just takes the hit and reverses, because I think he knows that if there's more than one Greyhound, perhaps one he doesn't know about, and they dive on top of him, this unit's as good as dead. So he's just taking the hit, forcing that Greyhound to have a period of time where it repairs, and just winning a little bit of time for himself.
Keep them back.
Bastards
And,
have
it
secured
really
our
is.
territory from us.
Really is top level play.
We have finished the research.
Taking ground. Maintain your hold the high ground. Field promotion.
What's going on here? 221. Oh, perhaps a little bit close there to the rifleman. But it's in the right position just to push away the Jeep from capturing the fuel point. And Orangepest is actually doing a lot with very little at the moment. How he's managed to hang in there with this Grenadier squad is a bit beyond me, but Momo is going to reclaim that. Probably get fuel control again. He's just lost the south. Caught laying mines. We don't have minesweepers yet on either of the Pioneers, but mines are starting to go off around the field, so fully expect to see that from Orangepest in the next minute or so. Once he does get the munitions resources. So let's have a look at Momo for a second, because we do have now the M8 Scott. That's going to be super useful at dealing with any support weapons.
Territory lost.
I like that. Maybe Orangepest should consider going to 75% power. I'm sure he's figured that out.
We have vehicles ready to be dispatched to the front.
Oh, tough break there for Momo. Caught off guard a little bit. 221 here is coming for that Greyhound. Every time one of these shots land, dicey situation for that Greyhound. Is going to have to retreat, but that's huge. Second shot lands, and 221's trying to chase it down, but it has a little bit of pathing issues through a tight area.
We must pull them back. We're down to 300 points.
Get on with it.
A strategic point is being claimed.
Well, if it's anything from the previous games, Momo is going to be waiting now for the Easy 8 call-ins to come around. This is going to give Orangepest a little bit of time to make some decisions for himself. Be interesting to see whether he goes for this Stuka Loiter. That'd be very helpful to him later on. Planes are pretty effective at the moment.
Under enemy fire.
And if Momo does decide to wait for 7 CPs, I'm pretty sure that Orangepest is going to be able to get vehicles out by then. Wow, this 222 really wants that Jeep.
We have a surplus of command points available.
Tries the final ground attack through the fog of war.
Put the minesweeper away.
They still have 250 points left. We must persevere.
There's a lot going on at the moment. A lot of these engagements. In fact, if you think about all of the angles of every single unit in every engagement that's going on right now, it's nearly impossible to tell who has any advantage on each other in these engagements. This is a really nice strafing run here from Orangepest. Momo exits and re-enters the building just to try and stay in the fight. It's a sensible idea. One thing that he just cannot do at the moment is lose territory. He needs to really start winning the resource battle. It's a great flank. I don't know that it's enough to take the MG42 down on this amount of health. The Greyhound may have something to add to it.
MG42 has been decrewed. Do not
But
let
here's
it
where
pass.
where it gets tough. Greyhound is not in a good position against the 221, but 221 misses. That's huge, and now you've got rear armor shots. This is a huge win for Momo, who I think is a bit fortunate to have that.
Under enemy control.
Orangepest not looking particularly
Available as reinforcement.
great here, although he does have very good VP control. And that's something that Momo really has to sort out quickly, because
Enemy forces have
he's not
captured
leaving
the victory
himself
point.
with a lot of time.
Stukas opposing in. Ready for orders.
We have lost the sector.
Could you imagine how boring Company of Heroes would be if every shot landed as you expected it to? Can you imagine if you could predict everything?
Awaiting a target.
More RNG needed. For casters,
One of
not
our
players.
capture points
For
is
players
under
it would be
attack.
horrible.
Mobile flak gun ready. They
Mobile
are
flak
securing
gun.
our capture point.
There it is. Flak 30. Interesting choice, actually. We've seen Flak 30 come out quite a few times today as a response to light vehicles, because it does actually have some ability to shred through even frontal armor of some of the light vehicles in the game. Orangepest is going to try and break around this stolen MG42 that Momo has. Very powerful weapon in US hands, actually, is the MG42. There's the Flak 30. Love that. These incendiary shots. This is a late retreat for Momo. I think the Rifleman squad's going to go down here. I'd be surprised if that doesn't go down and retreat. He's brought another squad in to try and rescue it. Is it going to be enough? Wow. Ju-87 strafing run. Could hit both squads here. That's a really, really well-timed strafing run from Orangepest, who, by the way, is somehow still managing to hold on to 3 VPs, whilst Momo is tearing apart the infantry with Greyhounds and M8 Scots, simply by just a few infantry alone, and some of the off-map abilities, just doing a fantastic job of keeping Momo at bay. And I actually think Momo has the better army by far.
Enemy activity near our munitions point. 100 points remain. We're cutting it close. The sector's been overrun. It's theirs now.
This is it's kind of like reminiscent of a football World Cup game where you've scored a goal ahead of your opponent in the last, in the 80th minute, and you just spend the next 10 minutes just wasting time, wasting everyone's time until the VP is drained down. Panzer IV is going to make holding these VPs a lot easier for Orangepest. We're now down to 85 VPs for Momo. And sensing that Momo has some of the tools available here, but just isn't quite sure at the moment where exactly he wants to be on the map. It'd probably be beneficial to Momo to actually just storm one side of the map, lock it down, and then move in. We do have a couple of units here not doing anything. Don't really have the targets. Orangepest again, looking for another triple cap. Just good use of smoke just to make sure that the cap always goes in. Wow, really need to see those 2 AT guns in a position where they can contest this Panzer IV. Panzer IV's ground attacking through the smoke. It was roughly the location. I think Momo managed to dodge one of the strafing runs there and is now putting pressure on the Flak 30. It's a pretty good attack, but we need to get that MG in to cap the VP. Rifleman's about to go down in the center. Don't want to see that.
Tools down. Repair work completed.
But again, when you look at it, Momo has, I think, still... Okay, it's probably turned in Orangepest's favor now in terms of army size. Let's see if the AT guns can do anything. Got artillery drop to try and take the MG42 out of the picture. In the north, big engagement going in here. Loving this from the Fallschirmjäger. 2 beastly grenades. Momo's clearly busy somewhere else and has just had to retreat those squads out of there quickly. We have just received the Easy 8 call-in, but just haven't quite got the manpower for it yet. It's a really good flank on the Flak 30, but the Greyhound is going to go down to the Panzerschreck from the Jaeger infantry. 20 VPs is not enough time for this Sherman to get on the field and start dealing some damage. I think Orangepest has somehow managed to last against Momo in this game. Purely, I think, just comes down to VP, just not having VPs for enough of the game. Otherwise, a really solid game from both players, but there you have it. Orangepest at 50%. He claims. Game 1 in hand.